Lovely meeting the three of you. Happy New Year. अब मुझे बताओ आप तीनों में से किसको रंजिश का मीनिंग पता है? Today I checked what it meant.
Tahir.
See all the just setting the rules for this interview. जब मुश्किल सवाल होगा वो ताहिर की तरफ दे दिया जाएगा. Just by the way.
I'll say.
Ranjish Hi Sahi as a term means so be it. Yeah, it's okay to be upset or even if to be hurt. It comes from an old ghazal, which is like, I think the words are loosely translated in English. It is a lover singing to another lover who has gone away to say that even if you come back just to break up or leave me again, do come back. So it's like this really soulful piece of music. And Ranjish Hi Sahi is like, even if it means to break my heart or to be upset again, do come back.
Well, I was thinking Ranjishi is enmity, but your perspective made sense to it all, Tahir.
Yeah.
I know, because what I understood was strained relationships, estrangement is Ranjish, but you put it across very well.
Yeah, so just to clarify, this title was after we finished shooting the show. So while we were shooting an untitled show. So this is research that all of us had to do after the show was shot.
And now coming to the show, Tahir, एक बात बता, have you made it a habit of playing the 70s का, first now Sunil Gavaskar साहब and now you're playing the 70s का director, कोई connect है with the decade that I was born in?
Wow, okay. नहीं, मतलब बिल्कुल इत्तेफाक की बात है, and ये दोनों projects back to back हुए थे. And it's been quite a few because Chichore before that was based in the 90s and Sunil Gavaskar and the 83 tournament was 80s and now 70s. So I'm sort of going backwards in time, which I'm very happy to do as far away from 2022 as I can get by the way things are going.
Yeah, true that. So I'm talking about this film. I'll start with the two ladies because, the man apart, it's actually the dynamics and it's the show of strength and character of the two ladies. One is the wife and one is the other woman. So Amna, you really saw you driving to, I can see that it's a scene from Shan and it's Parveen Babi, who was my eternal favorite because she was the uber-chic, cool lady back in the day, who lived life according to her own terms. So when they came to you to play this character, of course, you are not Parveen, but it's inspired by her. What was your first reaction?
For me, when I was excited because I got this call from the Bhatt's office and I know the kind of movies they create and the kind of strength the female characters, get in the films. And then it excited me that it's a period drama but I think I was more excited after meeting my director Pushpadeep, the way he narrated the story to me. And when I heard the character, I was mind blown. And I remember, this thought that I just wanted to do it and I wanted to be a part of it. That's all I knew at that point of time. I was really excited because it was a dream come true for me in terms as an actor to sort of have to be able to play a role like Amna Parvez, who goes through this cocktail of emotions. It was like a roller coaster ride playing this character. So yeah, I was blown away.
Wow. Amrita, you played a wife and, I know Bhatt Sahab also had made Ashiki, which was basically on his relationship with the wife. And then he made a whole lot of other movies also, which spoke about his relationship with a lady who also was his muse, his inspiration, meant a whole lot of things to him. So what was it like? Because it just shows the wife's dilemma. There, on the other hand, she keeps supporting her husband through, infidelity for a wife is a crime and no, hell hath no fury known when a woman's gone. But just she's very supportive and, just takes it all in. So what was the brief given to you?
So the brief that was given to me by Pushpadeep was that, do not think for 1 minute that she is submissive and that she is surrendering to the situation and circumstances or that she's helpless, because Anju is not that. And that was my own dilemma playing a character whose husband is cheating on her and yet she's supporting him. And I had a lot of discussions and even arguments with Pushpadeep and Bhatt Sahab about why she chooses to still support him in spite of the fact that he is not doing well in his career. He can't support her in the household, and here she's going out and earning money and supporting the household, and he's having an affair. So what I realized also is that unless you're in that person's shoes and you've gone through what they've gone through, you are no one to pass a judgment on their decisions. And that's something that I had to tell myself as Amrita, you know, and Pushpadeep would keep telling me, stop thinking of it as Amrita. This is not Amrita, you are Anju. And with Anju also, you see that it's not that, and you get to see it in the trailer. This is not a spoiler. You see that at one point she does draw very clear boundaries. You know, she gives him one tight slap also to tell him that enough.
Which was not acting, just by the way. That was a
बहुत
real
जोर से
slap.
लगा था.
No,
Oh my God.
बहुत लगे उसे ताहिर को थप्पड़. So I don't think that he'll ever stray in life.
Enough support he's got.
So it's just that she's not this helpless woman who's sitting at home, and nor is she with him because you know, she is financially independent. She goes out and gets a job. She can support herself and her family, which I think is really something. And it's by choice that she is with him because she truly, truly loves him. So that's the brief that I was given.
And Tahir, now coming to you, playing a director from the 70s. Abhi हाल ही में we just saw you play a cricketer, and now you're playing the director. So पूरा एकदम, you know, switch. But also Bhatt Sahab has made a whole lot of movies on this incident in his life, whether it was Arthi, Nazdikiyan, Bol Hame, and he's openly spoken about Parveen and what he went through and balancing two homes, his life with her and his life with his wife Kiran. I think that's her name. So did you speak with him? Did he tell you anything? And how did you get under the skin of Shankar? Could you relate to him as a man at any level?
Just to clarify right before we start, I think it's important for the audience to know that it's not a biopic, because if that was the case, then I would look like him and dress like him. But yes, you're right. It is thematically, it is definitely inspired by true events. Bhatt Sahab was very much a part of the workshops that we did. He was also on set. And it was just, you know, he is an institution in himself. And from the work that he's done, from the life that he's lived, a sort of romantic drama and the conflict in love triangles is his forte, as is music, and both of those play a big role in this series. Having said that, what I related to Shankar as was Shankar's core need in the series is to be a successful director and be able to tell a story that is loved and admired by the world. And as an actor, I relate to that, a creative person wanting an audience. And where the story moves away from that is he doesn't know how to get to making that successful film. He doesn't have a good script. And he opens different doors in order to look for that. And on one such journey, he meets a superstar in Amala Paul who is attracted to him, and it's reciprocated. And the dichotomy really is that he's got a wife and a child at home who he also loves. So it's that entanglement between duty and desire, and the conflict that he has as a director. And it's through that conflict that he has this catharsis in which he discovers himself, his art, and as a result, his stories. So it was really like a layered character to try and play. And I've also never done a romance on screen. And here I'm not with one, but with two different actresses. And because you've mentioned that as films they've been dealt with before, the difference over here and why I feel it'll stand out is that it's on an OTT space. And the minute you've got 8 episodes to explore something, you're automatically, I'm the narrator in the show. Shankar is the narrator. You're seeing a lot through his perspective. But here, there are moments when it's through the female gaze, where you're seeing the feminist perspective on a situation like this, where you're seeing Amna's world, where you're seeing Anju's world. And I think it's unique for the audience to get like an entire panoramic view of the situation.
Absolutely. And also now coming to the three of you, the 70s truly, they would say 50s, 60s were the golden age, but the 70s were really swinging in their own way, whether it was fashion, whether it was the kind of films, and a whole lot of stories from the 70s which never came out are now coming out. What was your feel? And also the audience, I feel, was way more forgiving in the 70s than they are now. And also we didn't have social media then. So
Yeah,
what was it that you were?
obviously.
There was nothing as getting cancelled in the 70s. What was when you all got into this decade that you don't know anything of? What did you feel? You know, nostalgia. What was it like?
Amla?
Well, it was like traveling back in time, where you cannot do that in reality, but in your imagination, and which exist there, with the costumes, with the location, with the set, with the car, and even in our dialogue delivery, even in our performance, there was a bit of it was realistic, but at the same time, the way we walk and the way we carry ourselves and the way which we talk, the style, attitude, even the way we express ourselves, everything was a bit different. And it was nice to experience that sort of glamour and that sort of an era, which we can only see in movies right now. So it was fun.
The character that you're based on, she was often called the Bohemian Rhapsody of the time, because she was someone women aspired to be,
Yeah.
Parveen and Zeenat Aman was now you see women doing what, but Parveen and Zeenat were like, you can do anything and you have to live. So was there something that connected and you being chosen to play? Did you feel that I could have a connect with her?
Well, I think my director Pushpadeep need to answer that. But as much as I know, I think it was what I connected is the aspect of that wildness, like what you said. They were really they had their attitude, their confidence, and they were pretty wild and very carefree. And I think that's what I could also carry into my character. And like back in time, superstars were like really, really superstars, like the superstardom that we're talking about. They really enjoyed it and they lived that. So yeah, it was nice to experience that aspect.
Amrita and Tahir, what would you want to take back from the 70s? What did you enjoy the most? I mean, Agar, if you could go back in time and,
No phones. No social media. No phones.
And then the best way we used to just put the receiver down. That was our way of blocking people and not taking calls.
Best.
I think it was also the age of iconic fashion and iconic cinema. I mean, Diwar for me, the famous Amitabh Bachchan, the blue denim shirt with 3 buttons open, and those were the kind of things that I related to, and also the kind of music. We've tried to incorporate some of that in the trailer as well, where it's very like highly dramatic. And even if it's just a scene of a character just walking into a room, you get like that, and it's a very like a 70s feel to it. And I loved all of that. And also what was very different, because a lot of my scenes were set on a Bollywood set, is the kind of technology that we used back then versus what we're used to now. It was like literally being back in a parallel universe when editing was not done on Final Cut Pro, but you actually sat with film and spliced it and put it together. So it was an insight into how things used to be done.
And the 3 of you have done films also. You're doing OTT. I'm not getting into films and OTT here, but just as actors, as you said, this could be many 8 films. Your show is many 8 films. Are you finding this creatively more satisfying, and also in the terms kind of stories like the 2 ladies are? It's like from the female gaze. You're being allowed to play, to tell, and you also, Tahir, after films and this, also as an actor, taking a whole lot more things that you may be restricted by in the 2-hour format.
Amla?
Sorry, I didn't get the question. I didn't hear you properly.
I said also the kind of stories as women that, both of you done films and OTT that you're able to tell now and able to say. Do you find that more satisfying, creatively more satisfying and challenging as well?
Absolutely. There is so much creative freedom like a story like my last Telugu OTT series, original series, Pittakadalu. I don't think I would have done that if it was a theatrical film, because the kind of there are content that is targeted to particular audience who wants to watch such content. So that gives actor a lot of freedom to experiment and to convey, or portray the way we want. So it gives a lot of freedom. Yes.
Amrita.
In terms of creative opportunities and just opportunities, the OTT platform has opened up a whole world which was not available with film, because of, with film you have to think of marketing, and there are a lot of constraints that way. But in terms of this character specifically in the female gaze, for my character and my story, it's still very much the male gaze, with Shankar's voice being the narrator, and she is still someone who's Shankar's choices affect her life. Yes, she's choosing to stay with him, but I don't see it as the female gaze as far as this character is concerned. I'm still very much the good, supportive wife, Indian wife,
I think maybe that's something to do with your look. वो कहते थे ना, वो stereotype हो जाती है. Now it's time to just break it. Now, high time, like we
No.
That's it.
I want to be the philanderer. I want to be a murderer.
You do realize these are going to be the headlines tomorrow, Amrita.
Yeah.
Amrita wants to be a philandering.
A
Why don't you be both at the same time? A philandering murderer.
But on screen, huh? On screen.
Yeah, exactly. I think you might want to specify there.
I want to be the philanderer, the evil one, the villain, the spy on screen.
And funnily, they're giving Amla those roles, yeah. Why, Amla? Why is that happening? Of you, she is the one getting it. And Tahir, another interesting thing, आपके OTT में भी बहुत सारी आ रही हैं. Why are you getting caught between two women? The other show also is, again, you have two women. What is it?
I know,
Pooja, lesson in life.
Yeah,
What's
it's what
that?
he's attracting. The vibe that he's attracting on screen.
The vibe that I'm attracting on screen. That's right. I've never actually done romance before on screen. The kind of parts that I've done, whether it was in a film like Mardani or Chichore, there were always these larger than life characters that were portrayed as brooding or like the college stud. But this is the first time where I'm romancing not one but four women over the same weekend. Two in Ranjish Hi Sahi and two in the other series. So they say jab dene wala deta hai to chappad phad ke deta hai, and that's really what's happening here. And it's just it's incredible because it's love triangles in both two very different situations, and it's great. I look forward to hearing what the audience has to say. And just to come back to your earlier question, when I debuted in Bollywood with Mardani, the choices were really, which was actually really not that long ago, we're talking about recent past, is the choices were, you be a film star or you be a TV star. There's nothing in between. Yeah. And now with OTT, there's this fabulous opportunity where you can be a film star, and it's actually the same technicians who are working on OTT as well. And a lot of the crew that was working on our series were also working on films and have gone on to work on films, whether it's the cinematographer, the lighting team, the costume design. And so it's a great place to expand your audience and the kind of stories that you're telling. And what I really enjoy about the OTT space is that you can be more authentic to what your story is. Just for instance, and I don't know whether you got this feeling when you saw the trailer, but normally when you watch films that are period, I would not generalize films, but normally when you watch a period piece, it's very easy to go into the caricature space where to accentuate that period, the costumes become so over the top that they really jut out of the story. But I really found it to my relief when I saw what Ranjish Hi Sahi was looking like. It was subtle, like it wasn't in your face period, and it's really well done. And I am really happy to be a part of it.
I'm looking forward to it as well. And also, this is a story that one doesn't tire of hearing because there are books written, the narratives. It's just something about the triangle. It is a real life triangle which you're seeing on reel. So lastly, before we go, if it was a 70s character of film or an actor, that's the three of you now could time travel to and play, who would that be?
Bachchan Saab in Diwar.
खुश तो बहुत हो गए आज.
I would not one thing in particular, but as you said, Zeenat Aman, she was an icon, especially with the way that she so confidently just existed, you know, whether it was wearing a bikini on screen also, which wasn't something that was done back then.
True. But now you have to shake this up, huh? You have to play the philanderer, murderer and philanderer soon. Isko jaldi se do, Amrita ko role.
I think you should be the one that makes this change. Write a script, produce it, and cast me in it as the murderer.
चलो करते हैं कुछ सोचते हैं. Amala, what about you?
Mr. India, right? That role.
Sridevi's
That's
role.
more 80s, yeah.
Okay, so
70s.
I can't think of. I mean,
Maybe Parveen Babi. You actually are looking like a very convincing her from Shan. That's the scene that I've seen.
from Shan.
Remember the song also.
Yeah. Pyar karne wale. Yes.
It was wow.
Of course. Anyways, all the very best, the three of you. Looking forward to seeing the show. And now, thank you, Tahir, for clarifying what Ranjish Hi Sahi means. Thank you.
Welcome. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. Happy New Year. Take care. And Amrita, more power. Philanderer, murderer. हो जाएगा इस साल में.
Thank you, Pooja.
Thank you.
Bye. Take care.